Hi, so this video is a story of piracy. My course, one of my most popular courses, was stolen, and I wanted to share with you a bit of what happened, how it happened, and what I did to try and recover my course. So hi, if we haven't met before, I'm Michelle Pontvert, both pronunciations work great, and I'm a life-first business strategist. Okay, so here's what happened. So one of my courses, my low energy launching course, was pirated, and it started to have copies of the course pop up all over the internet. I found out only because a legal service emailed me to notify me that they saw lots of pirated versions of my course all over the internet. They actually were pitching me a paid service, but I didn't really want to pay them. I was very appreciative that they notified me, so I did email them back and say thank you. I'm going to take care of it myself. And I ended up spending, honestly, months of time fighting to get the pirated sites to remove my content. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually get the pirated sites to close down, which I would have loved, because when I was going through this process, I actually saw a lot of people's names I recognized in the online business space up there and having their courses pirated as well. So, how did this happen? I will be 100% honest, I don't know. I don't know exactly why and exactly how this happened. The only thing I suspect is that I had one fraudulent charge on that same course about a month prior. So I had launched the low energy launching course, and one of the sales that came through about a month after the purchase was flagged as fraudulent in Stripe, my payment processor. And that was also another laborious process to basically realize that that was a stolen credit card and that I had to refund that purchase, so I lost that money, plus a fee for having the pleasure of having Stripe go through this process. I realized most likely that person who'd made the fraudulent charge probably is the one who also went ahead and pirated this content. I don't have proof of that, but that's my assumption. Their email address didn't tip anything off, and because it was a stolen credit card, there was nothing that came up that looked really suspicious or fishy. It didn't hit any of the fraud scans that I pay extra for in Stripe. So it was a bit of an unfortunate thing where there was no way to catch this prior. So here's what I did, because sadly enough, I didn't have much control over how it happened. Here's what I've done. So I revoked access to the person who had that stolen credit card, and I reported that person both to Stripe. I reported that as a stolen card, and that's where I refunded the purchase. I notified their bank, which was also weirdly hard to figure out. And then I reported, also sent a DMC takedown notice. So that is a email that I just sent out with some legalese, some legal language that I actually just Googled and found a template for. And I emailed all of the different sites that listed my stolen content with that email. And that took quite a lot of time because I had to not just follow the links from the person who'd notified me that the legal service who'd found the pirated course in the first place, but I actually did some extensive research of my own, trying to find all of the different versions of this all over the way, and it was a lot. I had at the end of being, I think, almost 90 different takedown notices I had to send, and most of them showed up on Google, but not all of them. And quite a lot of them were on different platforms. So there were, a decent majority were on, pirating websites. But I had some links on Pinterest, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, like really all over the place. And those ones were trickier because they weren't, specifically linking in the comments or anything, but they, like the YouTube one, for example, had a video just with like, get Michelle Ponver's low energy launching course at this website. And it was clearly one of the websites that I also had found through like my other research, but that video was still up. So I had to go through and individually ask like YouTube to take those videos down, to ask Pinterest to take those videos down. And they all did that very quickly. But it was actually the individual websites that were, selling lots and lots of pirated courses that were much harder, and I'd had to send several follow-up notices to a few of them, which is just like a lot of admin, a lot of a pain. So I have blocked the domain from that purchaser from purchasing ever again, so they can't use that same domain. But unfortunately, because this wasn't a like, jim@mypiratedwebsite.com, it was not clearly like that domain specifically, it was that person with the stolen credit card, their name. So I've also gone through and blocked the domains of the pirated websites, so the equivalent of like mypiratedwebsite.com, mypiratedcourse, let's say, .com. I blocked all those domains in my course platform, ThriveCart, as well. That's not a surefire way to know that they're not going to get through, they're not going to try other things, but that's something I have done as a preemptive measure. There are some other things I could do in the future. So there are options to host your videos on kind of anti-piracy hosting services like bunny.net. It is definitely an additional investment. I know some people have made that extra step, and those are much harder, but probably not impossible to pirate. They're basically the equivalent of like Vimeo, where you would still record your videos on whatever you record them on, and this is a hosting place that has much higher protection. And then finally, I will continue to, but I could still do a bit better probably, of monitoring sales from suspicious emails. So I do get a notification email every time I make a sale, and usually I just like look through the name and go, oh, that's nice, and record that for my bookkeeping. But I am wanting to and can do more, really checking that those are real emails and they're coming from real people. So what should you do? I'm not legal advice, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not, anything close to that, but I do think these are a few things that we all as business owners probably should be doing. So first, I think we can have a kind of realistic evaluation of the true damage this could cause to your business. I'm not trying to be a fearmonger here. I actually think that it's probably much more prevalent than we realize. As I said, on a lot of those websites, I saw many other business owners' content, many other people's names. Now, it's not great. I don't feel good that my content was stolen, but ultimately, I don't know if it's actively harming my business. The people who would purchase my course off of a pirated website probably aren't people who would purchase my course anyway. Um, so in the end, is it harming my business other than knowing that it's out there and that people who are usually it's people who would like Google my name or my business will see those pirated websites come up. So yes, it's really not great, but it's also not going to be the end of my business. I definitely think reviewing the PayPal and Stripe fraud alerts quickly made a big difference, jumping on that quickly. You can also turn on, at least for Stripe, the fraud alert, they charge you, I think it's like a couple cents per transaction to review the person buying a little bit more thoroughly. I pay for that. I find it a worthwhile investment. Definitely, if you do have anything that comes through that looks suspicious, block those domains, revoke access from known pirated websites. Like that's work that you can do if you do end up having your course pirated. Unfortunately, unless you went through and found all the pirating websites ever, pretty hard to do ahead of time. And then this is a sad thing to do, but it's kind of helpful, is to at least know you can get DMCA takedown notice templates. You could prepare it in advance. It's very simple, but it really is a shock when that happens. And I want you to know that there is something you can do, and that takedown notice was very effective at getting most of the content taken down. But ultimately, I do want to remind you, if this happens to you, I'm sorry, it sucks, but we can't do everything. Visibility comes with its highs and its lows, it comes with some risk. And I think that beyond just this fraudulent transaction, I do think that the business that I'm running, growing and having more visibility, probably did welcome this risk a little bit more. And as much as it's really not fun, I will take the highs that came with that as well. So, it's just something we might have a price that we pay. Trust your gut. If something looks suspicious, it probably is. It's definitely worth looking into. If you are getting emails that look a bit sort of odd, or if you're seeing someone behaving oddly in a client experience, it's worth just doing a little bit of double checking to make sure you're not accidentally going to get your content stolen. So, on that note, I'm really sorry to leave it on such a sad note. So, let's change our attitude a bit. And here's a few things you can do in your business. And it's not about legal anything, but I do have a lot of suggestions for you on how to make your business work better for you, and that won't help you with getting your course pirated, but it will help you with feeling like a more supportive, happy, healthy human running a business. So if that's the kind of thing you'd like to work on, if you'd like to, take a look at how your business is running and identify some different little tweaks and shifts you could do to make it a little bit easier for you as a human, I definitely encourage you to check out my Life First Business Assessment. It's a completely free guide. And then if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to watch other videos, not just about piracy, I definitely encourage you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when new episodes drop. Okay, I'll see you next week.